So Adblock Plus is this little Chrome extension that you just install when you first set up your desktop, and it makes all of the ads go away. But how did this come to be, and how does it make money? Well, that's something I was wondering lately, and I've been a child of the internet since the 90s, and that's where this story is going to start. Back in the 90s, we were just having a good old time, posting GIFs and, dumb things like that, making our really low-tech looking web pages. It was a lot of fun, and I think it's sort of like the Garden of Eden in a way, where a lot of people, almost including myself, I'm not sure, think that that was really the best time of the internet. But then something happened. These people came along. The first internet ad was posted in 1994, and it didn't take long before the internet started looking like this in the mid-2000s. Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. It wasn't quite that bad, but there were ads popping up everywhere, flashing in your face, and a lot of people that were into the internet really didn't like this trend. But something had happened. People had figured out they could make money on the internet. And anytime you take something good and introduce money into it, well, you can kind of think about what follows. So there was sort of a problem here. Advertisers wanted to put their advertisements wherever they could to make money, and there was really no other way to make money on the internet at the time. So that's what they did. Now, in the mid-2000s, along came Adblock. And it is Adblock. I always called it Adblocker personally, but it's Adblock Plus. That is the full name. And it is actually open source software. So yes, you can download it yourself, you can modify it if you want. I could make Mark Blocker Plus if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't get paid enough by YouTube. So anyway, Adblock came in, open source, looks great. This is like the hero of our time, but how are they making money? At first my thought was probably just a bunch of homeless, starving, altruistic developers that are doing this out of the goodness of their heart. So obviously that's not the case. So how are they making money then? Well, if you go and download Adblock, you will see a page that basically says, hey, do you want to donate? And I thought, perhaps this is the perfect grassroots story. Our Garden of Eden is destroyed. A hero developer comes along and makes software asking only for donations, and he makes it better again. Unfortunately, this is not quite the whole story. It turns out that quite a low percentage of Adblock's revenue comes from actual donations, although they do still appreciate them if you're thinking about donating. And I'm not telling you not to either way. But let's move on. How do they make money? So they have a program called the Acceptable Ads Program, and there are a list of criteria that ads must conform to in order to be listed here. This includes things like the ad size, placement, it needs to have the label advertisement under it, and these are all things that advertisers could do if their goal was to be nice to you as a consumer. But they don't, because they really just want you to spend money, and they're willing to do anything to get you to do that. So this sort of still seems like a win-win, right? Well, here's the issue. Adblock charges you to go through this program. So even if you willingly conform to these standards, you still won't be whitelisted by Adblock. You're still going to have to pay Adblock in order to have your content shown when Adblock is running. Now, before I move on, if you guys like this stuff, please give this video a like, helps me out. Let's move on. So basically, yes, you have to pay for this to get into it. So it's almost like Adblock is sort of like the internet mafia. They break your ads and they say, pay us money, and then we'll let your ads be shown. Well, I guess you could characterize it that way. But let's think about it a little bit more. Adblock is actually making the internet a better place to be as a consumer. You can now at least go through the internet without being stormed by really intrusive ads. So that's good for you as the consumer. And it's good for Adblock because they're getting paid to do it. Who is it not good for? Well, it's not good for the advertisers, obviously. Now they have a choice that they have to make. Are they going to try to just put ads up for, hopefully people that don't know about or have installed Adblock? Or are they going to go with Adblock and pay their fee? Or beyond that, might they actually try to fight Adblock? Try to make it to where Adblock can't block their ads? Well, that's not a very lucrative business to be in as an advertiser, because you just want to make your ads, make them glitzy, get them up, and make a little bit of money, per impression or per click. And you really don't have a lot to spend on developers to fight against this tactic, although some have tried. You know, Adblock is going to be totally focused on making sure you can't do that, while that is not your true focus as an advertiser. So it's a losing battle. But basically, a lot of advertisers just choose to go along with it, and I'm not saying they're making the wrong decision. They are the losers in this case though. But what about the browsers? So this is actually pretty simple, that browsers don't really take sides in this fight, and there's a big reason. They are too busy fighting over market share. So sure, someone like Google, you could say, has a dog in this fight to a certain degree. They are an advertiser, but they're more concerned about market share of their browsers. Let's say Google Chrome were to say, no more ad blockers, we're getting rid of all of them. Well, Mozilla would come up and say, hey guys, remember me from the early 2000s? I'm back and I've got your ad blocker. So you're gonna go back to Mozilla, and they don't wanna lose that market share. And I mean, my God, God forbid, Microsoft came in, Internet Explorer, saying, hey guys, I got your ad blocker. I know it's Edge now, whatever. It's always gonna be Internet Explorer to me. Anyway, so browsers don't really do anything about this. You basically have this situation where browsers are fighting over market share, they are busy with that. You have advertisers that want to make as much money as possible, and you have Adblock making the software that us users want because it makes the internet a lot easier to get through, and so we will download it for free. We are the obvious beneficiary here. It costs us nothing unless we're going to donate, and we get the benefits. Adblock makes money, and the advertisers have to pay for Adblock to be a thing, even though it is sort of the bane of their existence. Now, we could talk for hours on if this is a good thing for the internet. I think it pretty much is, even though, like a lot of other things in life, it is sort of tenuous and not so black and white, and there are no real angels or devils. So I hope you guys liked this video. I put a little bit of thought into it, and I hope it was a little bit more funny and easy to watch this time. If you like this stuff, please give me a like, it really helps me out. And subscribe to this channel if you really like it. I could always use more subscribers. Have a good night.